Hello, everybody. Welcome to another of our Study Abroad with Maces talks. We are continuing on our Be on Top of the World series with our Russell Group universities and universities that are ranked amongst the top 100, 200 in the world. So with us today, we have our good old friend, Shirley, from University of York. Shirley Yang Wang is the regional manager for South and Southeast Asia. So she covers quite a bit of ground. Shirley, how are you doing?
I'm very well, good, thank you. I hope the audience is doing well as well.
I know you're very busy, so thank you so much for making time to help us and help our students understand the university and the possibilities that they have to look forward to.
Not a problem. It's an absolute pleasure to be here today. So, in the ideal world, I would love to see you guys in person, but considering we're in the middle of the pandemic, this is the best alternative we could do. So, yeah, I'm really excited to be here today.
So you're based in York, Shirley?
Yes, I am based in York. It's rather gloomy right now. So for those of you who don't really know York, where York is, so York is in the largest county, Yorkshire, in the north of England. So it's got beautiful landscapes, but however, the weather, we're not always blessed with sunny weather. So it's rather gloomy right now. But I am indeed based in York in the UK.
Yeah, I've traveled through York quite a few times. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the train station as well. And you can see some historic buildings right from the train station, if I remember correctly. And what I understand is the university itself. There's a lot of history going forward, which I'm sure you're going to explain to our students in a second. Um, you know, uh, York University is, of course, a really prestigious university. We have some of the top private university in Bangladesh, which is North South, has a lot of faculty members who graduated from York, specifically in the English department. So, they're a big promoter of York, and they have helped future students go there as well. So I can
Great,
tell
that's
that the
awesome to
experience
hear.
has been good.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear. I mean, we have alumni across the globe, and I think it's definitely one of our main goals to diversify our student portfolio, particularly to welcome more students from Bangladesh. So very excited for the venture ahead of us.
The thing is, obviously, you're going to give us a presentation soon. One of the things, I hope you're going to cover is students are always worried about the admissions criteria, whether they'll be accepted, what are the costs, and one thing that comes up over and over, especially with our region, is, of course, scholarships. So things like that, I hope you'll cover. So do you want to start your presentation now, and then we can get on with questions after that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely fine. So I will just do a kind of short overview presentation about the university, and then we will leave some time for Q&A because this is a really good opportunity to put me in touch with the audience and in the front line of our prospective students. So it's good for me kind of to understand their demands and their inquiries, etc. So without further ado, I'll start my presentation if that's okay.
That's wonderful. Yes, that sounds good. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you so much for the warm introduction. So, good evening, everybody. My name is Shirley. I'm the regional manager at the University of York. And depends where you are tuning in from. And, it's 10 o'clock in Bangladesh right now. It's just, late afternoon for me. So, yeah, thank you so much for tuning in at this late of the evening. And it's been an absolute pleasure to be here today and to be able to tell you about what a great York is as an institution. And I hope you guys will find today's session useful. I think, you guys coming to this session has already shown dedication or some kind of idea of willing to study abroad. I was an international student once. I originally came from China, so I completely understand the the level of concerns and the questions you may have, because I was in your shoe once as well. So I do really hope that I can also share some of my personal experience, and just to make that whole student journey as smooth as easy for you guys. So without further ado, I will start with my presentation. So I think the first important, I guess the first slide I would like to show to students is to the location of the university. UK is relatively small if you see them on the map, but however, it doesn't really, we have a number of very high quality, world class universities, considering what a small country UK is. So York is one of the over 200 universities in the UK. Like I said earlier, York is not in the south of England. We are located in the north of England. We are very close to big cities like Leeds and Manchester. I know you guys are probably quite familiar with London, because when you say UK, everybody instantly think of London. However, there are some other big cities that's equally vibrant and that's equally lively. York is one of the beautiful historical cities. We are easily accessed by train, by air, and also by car. So for those of you who are flying in, you guys will be flying into Manchester International Airport. We frequently organize free airport transfer to pick up our international students to our campus. So just to save you the hassle of figuring out how to get to campus. So that's just part of our amazing student services. So in today's presentation, I'm going to cover those few areas. Because of limited times I won't be able to go into much detail, but I've picked out some really key information, or the frequently asked questions I always get from students. I will cover those. Any additional questions, we'll save those in the Q&A. So I just thought it would be really nice to start off the presentation with a lovely video, just to give you guys an idea of what York is really about. Beside the high ranking, beside the Russell Group title, beside other labels, I want to give you guys a real taste of our ethos and the kind of what sort of value we represent as a institution. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video clip.
These are no ordinary times, but through adversity we shine. The extraordinary will rise. You have potential to fulfill, and time won't stand still. The world will go on. It's time to take the next step. Get ready to thrive. We can provide you with the keys to the future. The world needs bright minds like yours, and with our support, there is no end to what you can achieve. Believe. It's time to choose what you want to be, what you want to do. Your moment is now. It's time to choose. And the choice is York.
Here you go. I really love showing our students that really uplifting video, and you also get a glimpse of how beautiful our campus is. I think, to summarize York in a nutshell, is really, we are, very internationally diverse. We are very reputable. We are research-led. I feel like there's so many key buzzwords to describe York, but I think the most important message I kind of want to say out there is, how does this translate to your student experience? And I think that's the most important thing. Sometimes, university can seem a little bit out of touch with those very seemingly impressive, numbers, but today I really want to kind of put those numbers, make it relevant to how well that affect your student journey if you wish to become a part of our amazing York student community. So to really translate University of York's excellence in both teaching and research, I've picked out some key stats to really kind of showcase, how well the university is doing. So the university was established in 1963. So we joined, we are a member of the prestigious Russell Group University. For those of you who are not too familiar with Russell Group, it's very similar to Ivy League in the States. So there are a total of 24 universities in the UK are Russell Group universities. So think about out of the 200 universities in the UK is a very prestigious title, and we are very honored to be a part of the Russell Group. So we have just over 18,000 students in total coming from 150 countries. University of York actually started with 200 students when it was first established. So you guys can really see how has university grown in terms of size, in terms of reputation, in terms of facility, in terms of all aspects of its development. And I think it's really quite a, amazing achievement. We have a hugely diverse international student body, and that is something we truly celebrate, because we believe that having students coming from different parts of the world contributes to a very unique student experience. Our overall ranking in the UK is 18th, according to the Complete University Guide 2022. We are constantly investing into our student facilities to make sure that you have the best learning experience, especially for those who are doing a laboratory-based degrees. So £500 million were invested into student accommodation and our state-of-art teaching facilities. And another key thing I want to point out is we have 9 top 100 subjects in the world university rankings. So the 18th overall national ranking is in the UK. Just a humble brag, we have 9 subjects actually ranked 100 in the world. So it's really, I think the stats really just speaks its volume. Another key thing I really kind of want to share with you guys is University of York is top 10 in the UK for graduate earning potential. Employability has become a very popular or frequently asked topic, and I think it's definitely within the right reason. After you guys invest so much money and time into a degree overseas, we all want to see a good return on investment. So knowing you are going to a university with a very good employability rate, with a very good employability provision, and also knowing being a York graduate, is favored by employers, that's really just kind of, give you a peace of mind knowing when you go to the job market after graduating, looking for jobs, you're going to have that advantage, because employers know York graduates speaks quality. We prepare them well in advance to enter the job market. So that just, I want to show you guys different aspects, how we prepare our students from different aspects of the student experience. So dive into a little more detail into our subject rankings. So out of the 9 subjects, we are ranked top 100 in the world. 3 of them are actually in the world top 30. So those are social policy, administration, archaeology, English language and literature. So those were the top 30 those were the subjects that ranked top 30 in the world. And the rest of the 6 subjects were history, linguistics, psychology, sociology, and development studies. So I think, as you can see from this testimonial, it just really shows how much our students really enjoy their time at York and all the opportunities we've, offered to our students. Here is more subject rankings. From my personal experience, I think rankings and league tables are really good starting point when you start shortlisting universities. But hopefully today, after today's presentation, I can convince you, as well as ranking tables, there's also other factors that might be worth of taking consideration when you start looking for universities. And I'm not saying York has the whole package, but not only do we have the good rankings, later on you'll see our beautiful campuses, our amazing student services facilities, and I do really hope it would proven to be a really good choice of university for those who want to have a really memorable study abroad experience. So Swift, as you guys see from this picture, this is just a part of our beautiful Haslington campus in the historical city of York. So we have a rich wildlife, lakes and bridge, not to mention other facilities as well. So it's just simply stunning. Moving on to our faculties. So we have 3 faculties at University of York. The first one is Arts and Humanities. As you guys can see, under the Faculty of Arts and Humanities, we have those subject areas available for you to choose from. Sometimes the subject combination varies a little bit, depends on the level of study. Sometimes you can do a joint degree. So not only you could study history, you could combine history of English. So you tend to see English universities typically for undergraduate have that kind of flexibility where it allows you to combine one subject with another subject. They are what we call joint honors or joint degrees. Our second, also our largest faculty at University of York is our social sciences. So it ranges from economics, education, law, management, politics, sociology, so there's a broad social sciences programs for you to choose from. And then the last but not the least is our sciences faculty. So sciences, we offer programs ranging from biochemistry, biology, so plant biology, life biology, and then we also have a medical school, as well as health sciences courses, to nature sciences, psychology, and also to more, computer science, engineering, mathematics, this side of sciences. So we do offer a broad range of programs, and I do wish, you guys, some of those courses take your guys' fancy. For more details, feel free to head to our course page to look for the details. So how to apply? I guess, that now we come down to the more practical side of, the questions. So for undergraduate students who want to apply to the University of York, here are the entry requirements. Obviously, it depends on the type of qualification. The entry requirements would vary, and also they vary between courses as well. So it depends on what course you apply, the entry requirements we ask would vary as well. So A-levels is a pretty standard UK high school qualification. Some international schools would offer them. So you can see the entry requirements range we ask for. If you're doing international baccalaureate, then we would ask between 37 points to 32 points. Again, depends on your what courses you wish to apply. For if you hold a national high school certificate in Bangladesh, unfortunately you won't be eligible for year 1 entry. That's also what we call direct admissions. Basically what it means is you have to take additional qualification, typically what we call foundation courses or year 0 courses, to do additional year of study. And then you can progress onto year 1, admission, providing you pass the foundation courses. So as for postgraduate, I don't know if majority of our audience today are already studying at university and looking to advance their study into a master's in the UK. So for those of you who are looking to do a postgraduate level of courses, you can work out the equivalency on this table. So most of the courses we would ask for a 2-1. So a 2-1 equivalent is usually depends on the grading of your university. We sometimes ask for 70%, A minus, or 3.5 out of 4 from your GPA, and then our 2.2 equivalent would be shown on the table. So this is our entry requirements, and hopefully that gives you like kind of a rough idea of what sort of a level we're asking. And obviously, aside from the academic requirements, we also have our English language requirements as well. Again, it largely depends on what courses you're applying. We do accept, I've listed some of the English language qualifications we accept. Most of you will be taking IELTS. We also accept Duolingo. We also accept TOEFL. Again, it just depends on which qualifications you're taking. If you are taking IELTS, most of the master courses would ask for 6.5, and that, for example, for our business management courses. But obviously, if you were to do medicine, and you would require to have IELTS of 7.5, especially in some of the healthcare courses. So yeah, here is just if you want to find out more information about the English language requirements, we do have a dedicated web page as well. So yeah, feel free to head there as well. And yeah, check the course page. How to apply. So if you're currently a high school student and wanting to apply to do our bachelor degree courses, then you need to apply via UCAS. Essentially, it's an online platform, which allows you to apply to a number of UK universities in one go. So you have 5 choices of universities. And if you are to do a master's, then you can apply directly with us on our website. There's no application fees, so it's pretty straightforward. The application for both UG and PG, you can actually apply without receiving your final grades. So that's one thing quite a lot of international students can't get their head around. So you can actually submit your application with pending IELTS, with pending final transcript of your final semester. And what usually admissions would do is they would look at your predicted grades and then give you what we call a conditional offer. And what that means is, we would provisionally give you a conditional offer based on the condition that you would eventually achieve, 3.5 GPA from your bachelor degree, etc. So that's how it works. So I do highly recommend you guys to apply early if possible, because I'm going to go on to talk about scholarship next, and you'll see why I'm encouraging you guys to apply early.
And before we move on to the next screen, Shirley, if you go back, for those of you who want to apply, Maces would be happy to help you. Please get in touch with us. You can email us at mail@macesvd.com. You can call us at 01755660803. You can send us a message on Facebook. If you're watching this right now, you're on Facebook or YouTube, so you can send us a message there. Or you can go to our website at www.macesvd.com and then fill up an inquiry form with us. I just wanted to put it up there. We have got a 100% success rate with visas. And we don't charge anything. So it's all free of charge. And we take care of the application. We help you through that process as well. So I just wanted to put it out there before, you go ahead and apply.
Yeah, absolutely. I probably should mention this as well. So University of York, we work very closely with Maces, and they have a team of very experienced and knowledgeable counselors. So that's why I didn't bore you guys too much with the application process, because the counselors can go through that process with you. You don't have to worry too much about it. And also, I don't want to overwhelm you with all the application information. So you'll be given clear guidance as to what documents need to apply, what's the best time to submit your application, being advised by the counselors in Maces. So yeah. So we're just moving on to the, the probably the most sought after slide in today's talk. So it's fees and fundings. Like I said earlier, it's a huge financial investment to study abroad. It's not cheap at all. So, that's why I always like to say to students, speak to as many universities as possible. Make sure you find the best suited institution, so you can have an informative decision based on the information that you've given, because once you've made a decision, you are committing either 3 years or 1 year of your life into that institution. So it's so crucial to get it right and to make sure you get the best out of that 1 year, or 3 or 1 year's experience, depends on the level of study. And and then later on, obviously that's going to help your career prospect. So here I just want to show you guys the tuition fees for 2022 entry. And so a standard bachelor degree in the UK is 3 years. You can add on extra year to do study abroad or placement, but those additional year are not charged fully. So usually you only pay 20% of the tuition fees for the additional year. And masters, as you guys probably already know, is 12 months. So it's only 1 year long in the UK. So you guys can see this is how much University of York charges. It doesn't actually, tuition fees don't vary that much between institutions, but this is like a kind of guide figure to give you guys an idea of how much we charge. You don't have to pay in one go. You can pay your tuition fees in installments if you wish. Typically, it would be in 3 installments taking place in October, January, and April. So you can see there's a bit of difference between classroom-based degrees and laboratory-based degrees. So classroom-based degrees tend to be those arts and humanities and social sciences, some of the social sciences programs. Laboratory-based typically are computer science, engineering, where there's quite a large portion of the practical element into your degree. And then accommodation cost. So again, this is just a guidance. Depends on your budget. We have different types of accommodations to accommodate your budget. And the cheapest weekly rent we have at York is £99 a week. It covers all the bills, everything. You don't, obviously you still have to pay your food. And then it goes all the way up to £200 per week. So it just depends on the budget, the kind of room you want. Obviously the budget rooms is quite basic, but it's still really nice and cozy. And alternatively, if you want to have your own bathroom, the own suite accommodations are tend to be a little bit pricey, but all the rooms are single occupancy, so you don't have to share a room with anyone, which is great. And so it's just nice to have your own space after a long day of socializing or studying. So based on, so for undergraduate, the first year, you'll be signing into a full 40 weeks contract. So your first year of study is not the full 12 months, is essentially 10-month contract. Whereas postgraduate, how you work out your annual rent is essentially the weekly rent, like I show you at the bottom row of the table, times 51 weeks, because you for postgraduate is a full 12 months degree, so that works out 51 weeks. So you'll be there for the whole of 12 months of the year. So that's how you work out. And obviously for postgraduate research is the same as well. So to be fair, I think, our budget accommodation are really affordable, especially, when you, start going to the south of England, like especially universities in London, the cost of living is so much higher than the north of England. And their accommodation charges can go all the way up to well over £200 per week. And so, you can really save quite a bit of money, if you choose the location wisely. And then I thought it'd be really useful to give you guys like an estimated social cost. Obviously, it largely depends on your lifestyle, but I do often get asked how much would I need, for my spending money a month? It's a really difficult question because it depends what you do, how careful you are with money, and how good you budget. but here is just give you a taste of how affordable everything is in the north of England. I think, like in the UK, south of England has this reputation of, the cost of living is much higher than in the north, which is true. So, by selecting your study destination wisely, you could really save up yourself quite a bit of time. But the experiences both regions offer are very different. So this is not to say avoid, universities in the south part of England. So again, it's a very personal choice. Make sure you guys check out all, both options and figure out what's the best for you. And then here it comes to the international scholarships, which I'm really excited to share with you guys. We also do have some PG level departmental scholarships available as well, which, please check them out on our fees and findings page. And so the first scholarships we have is the Be Exceptional scholarships. The awarding amount is between £2,500 to £7,500. And then we also have the very generous Vice Chancellor scholarships. For UG students, the awarding amount goes all the way up to £20,000. For postgraduate students, it's £10,000. The eligibility is you have to be an offer holder in order to apply for those scholarships. Remember earlier what I said about I encourage you guys to apply as early as possible with pending grades. That's why, because those two scholarships, the application closes end of March. So I would, encourage you to apply to the course now. If you feel like, you've had enough information to make a, informative decision that York is, one of the institutions you want to go study. And then once, hopefully you will receive a conditional offer, and then you will be able to apply for those scholarships. They are merit-based, so you would need to submit a separate scholarship application, and then we will basically assess based on your academic performance as well as a personal statement style statement as well. So yeah. We do have some engineering focused master's scholarships as well as management school. So our management school have two very generous scholarships too, but they are also offer holders only as well. So for those of you who are interested, I highly recommend you guys to check them out. So just some top tips about, funding, because obviously I think it is one of the most important kind of, determining factor when you guys deciding, to study abroad. So that's just some tips. I would always say, please check the relevant country page, which we have, for country-specific scholarships. So the scholarships I talked about earlier, those are internal scholarships that we offer. But there's also some external scholarships like the Commonwealth scholarships, the British Council Great scholarships. There's some external funding bodies as well. Do apply early. It's always good to, have a timeline of when to apply, when the deadline is, all the relevant documents you need. But like I said again, if you do want to, make that decision, the counselors in Macy's can also assist you with that process. For those of you who, I'm sure I'm probably going to get asked this question later anyway, but I thought to cover this in the presentation. So there will be opportunities for you to work part-time once you join us at York. Obviously, you should prioritize your study first, but your visa actually allow you to work 20 hours per week during term time. So during, if your workload isn't as heavy, there are so many opportunities you can actually join. So for example, I'm from the international team, so we're constantly hiring international student ambassadors. They're very well paid. All they have to do is share their experience with prospective students and parents and teachers. So it's a really good opportunity for them to develop their communication skills and also to earn some pocket money. There's also plenty of casual job vacancy jobs which are listed in our careers center, and you would also have access to that database as well. And so there's plenty of opportunities. It's just kind of up to you on how you utilize those free resources offered to you. And we kind of, I want to save some time for kind of Q&A, but I'm leaving careers as the last section of my presentation because I understand how important, this plays as a factor into deciding, which university, which study destination is the best. So as for University of York, we are in the top 25 universities targeted by the largest number of leading employers. So, it just really goes to show you how much the employers value our York graduates. As soon as you say you're a York graduates, they instantly know you're very quality, high performing, high achieving candidate, and that's gonna play a huge factor into your job hunting. And in terms of I've mentioned this earlier as well, also for earning potential as well. For those of you who don't actually know, the UK government actually introduced a very student-friendly policy. So we've now have the graduate immigration route. So the graduate visa, it basically allows you to stay in the UK for up to 2 years after you completing a full-time degree. It can be UG, it can be PG. So the good news is that you have the freedom, you also have the choice to stay in the UK after you finish your degree to look for jobs. If you think you want to stay in the UK for a couple more years just to explore the job market and to see what opportunities there are in the UK, then you can absolutely do that. Whereas previously, unfortunately, as soon as you finish your degree, you're going to have to go back home, because unless you manage to secure a job, find a sponsor and they're willing to, arrange a work permit visa for you. But now that's not the case anymore. We welcome international students and we want to give them a bit of flexibility when they finish university, so they can do whatever they want to do in those 2 years, either to look for jobs or set up their own business if they wish, or they can do volunteering, or they can go traveling, whenever they wish to do. So this policy is really student friendly, and I definitely advise you guys to take most advantage of that. So we have quite a lot of programs and provisions and schemes, to really enhance our students' employability. York Strength is one of the really successful scheme we run to support students' personal development. So not only you gain a really good reputable degree from York, we also kind of have this scheme to support your personal development, as well as your academic development, which is really valuable, because we want you to come out as a well-rounded graduates rather than only good at one thing, not all of them. And we constantly have careers fairs and networking opportunities and guest lectures where we really connect you with the people in the industry. So sometimes students can feel like they are in this ivory tower at university and feel very out of touch and isolated from the real job market, and that's not the case at York. We kind of cherish the opportunities where we can build the bridge between our students and to employers in the industry. So York Future, again, is another really successful careers employability-based scheme, which we aim to develop students' leadership skills. We also have a York Future scholarships, which is offered available to international students to apply as well. For any entrepreneurs in the audience, if we have any, we also run a 5-week program to for students who want to have some entrepreneurial spirits and they want to start up their own business. So we also have those programs to kind of help you to make that come true. Internship Bureau, that's just another one of our many employability provisions to really help our students to have a head start in the job market, to really prepare them for the job market. So it's a 2 to 12 weeks internship, project-based internship around York, and that is exclusively to York students. So it's basically the business links we have locally, and you can do kind of different types of project work-based internships, and you would also get paid as well. So, here are just all the examples. Like, I could talk more and more, but obviously we're not going to do that. But I just want to give you guys a taste of all the amazing opportunities we have available at York. Not only academic opportunities, but your personal development opportunities, your extracurriculum, all the other things you get to experience. And also with some of our undergraduate courses, you can add placement year. Some of them are paid. You guys can see for those departments, they offer placement, and our students have gone to work for those really well-known global international companies. And then obviously for master's students, they've also offer like a year in industry too in those courses. If that is something you kind of willing to consider, then that's also quite a unique feature about our program as well. So I feel like I've done quite a lot of talking. So I'm gonna end the presentation with something really light and really playful, something quite interesting, which is student life. Because end of the day, as much as I talk about studying, student life is it's not complete with the social aspect. As you can see how beautiful our campus is, and this is in the April time when all the flowers blossomed on campus. And we have, this is our computer science building in Campus West. So just give you guys like an idea of how beautiful the campus is, and we have all the relevant support in place to make sure you guys have a well settled into your home away from home, as I call it. So that transition from moving away from home to a overseas university can't be easy. So, we have all the kind of support in place to make sure you're well supported. At the same time, you are developing your independent living skills as well. Not to mention all the societies and clubs. Do we have any athletes, sportsmen in the audience? Because this is really exciting. I really want to showcase our amazing sports facilities at York. If the video plays, but it doesn't. Oh, let's go. If it plays. For some reason, I can't believe I'm still having technical difficulty, but hopefully this should play. Here we go. Here you go. And, for those of you who, whether already doing a sport, want to learn new sports, then, there's never been a better time to do that. So I just want to say thank you so much for, sitting through with me in the past, 15 minutes, and hope you're not bored of my voice here. So I'm really going to end my presentation here with some lovely, lovely photos of the city of York, where you can see, is really a mix of the old, the new, the modern, and, and the tradition aspect of the city. And I think obviously it's a pleasure to be able to showcase what amazing city and institution York is. So we're gonna move on to the Q&A section. So if you guys have any questions or things I've not covered in my talk, feel free to ask me. So thank you so much for listening.
Shirley, thank you so much for covering all of that, because I think comprehensively you covered everything that students might ask, and you'll see. Actually, I got a chance to see some of the questions, and I guess you've covered most of them. Though there might be some that are different. So the question that first comes is, are the engineering courses accredited? I guess the question is asked is, a lot of times, because UK is a 3-year degree, sometimes they might want to go to North America after graduation. So are they accredited? Because accredited courses can be accepted,
Yeah, it depends on which, well, the short answer to that is it is accredited, but depends on which accreditation body you are specifically referring to. So for quite a number of our science courses like engineering, computer science, and some of the management courses, they do have the professional accreditation, which means obviously if you do want to go on to do your professional qualification, having those accreditation is really useful. So if you want to see the exact accreditation bodies for each course or for the course you're interested in, feel free to head to our course page. They actually have a breakdown of all the professional accreditations. Hopefully that would give you a quite useful overview.
That's great, because what I know from York is most of the engineering courses are accredited by the Royal Accreditation Body of Engineers, Association of Engineers, or something like that. So you should be covered for most of them. Do you accept Duolingo or OET? I'm not sure. I think maybe Oxford International. I don't know, for MPH program, for the Master of Public Health program.
So we do accept Duolingo. I'm not sure what OET is. So I felt like if I might have to double check. If you could just let me know what.
But Duolingo you accept?
Yeah, we do accept Duolingo. Yeah, for this year, for 2022 entry. That's another thing. So all the information I provide in the presentation is applicable to 2022 entry. So as you would appreciate, like those information like tuition fees, scholarships, and requirements, we do review them, and we do change them, sometimes every year. So make sure when for those of you who are thinking to apply in 2023, it's still good to have those information as a reference, but it's always good to check for updates as well.
The next question that came, do you guys help finding jobs after graduation? I think you covered that a little bit, but I think she's talking about education fairs and careers, but you can answer.
Of course, yeah, absolutely, Marina. So, we don't, not only we help you to find the jobs after graduation, we actually help and prepare our students to enter the job market at the first day you start with us. So, we don't do everything last minute. So we understand how important is it to prepare our, graduates for the job market. So it's not the case where, we encourage you to come to a employability workshop like 2 months before you graduate. From very day one, we invite you to our CV clinics, our mock interview workshops. We invite you to our careers fairs. We also have sector specific careers information. So especially if you want to go into law, creative industry, teaching, we also have sector specific information. So depends on you looking at undergraduate or first or masters, from the day one of your course, our amazing careers and employability team are there to kind of help you. But obviously the resources are there, but nothing is handed to you. You still have to very proactively to go into the center, sign in for workshops, and make all the kind of free resources available. Another thing to reassure you is all our York graduates still have access to our free careers advising service and database 2 years after they graduate. So once you finish university, if for whatever reason you've not had much luck And with job hunting, you still can come back, use our careers advice services, and we still would help you. We also have a specific international student section as well, because obviously what home students need are very different to what international students need in terms of job hunting, and also especially with the visa side of things. So you still have free access to those.
Okay. Yeah, because this is also related to that, which is the job rate for international students, as in what percent of the international students are able to get jobs after graduation. But with your previous answer, I wanted to talk to our audience. One thing is that nobody will give you a job. You have to apply and get a job, and so the process to do that is by actually applying to different employers. Now, the way the university helps is two ways. One is, if you study in a university like York University, which is a Russell Group, a very highly reputed university with very high rankings, your demand in the job market will be higher, and it will allow you to get those jobs that you're looking for. So that's one thing. The second thing is the university, through its career fairs, through careers department, they'll do give you the resources to market yourself better, prepare the best CV you can. They will arrange career fairs where employers will come on campus and recruit students. Well, on campus as in through virtually or whatever. Those on-campus days might be numbered, but at least for now, there are virtual opportunities to actually meet employers and then apply for that. So that's how they help. But you have to go and make those applications, make those efforts. But if you can, and if you do, there is a high chance you will get it with your degree. And just to give you an example, students actually apply or start applying for, if you're going for a master's program, let's say you're going to graduate next year in September, you should apply for your first, you should prepare yourself and start applying for jobs from this year, maybe November, December, you should start applying, because it's a long process. You don't want to wait for your graduation to apply for jobs. And I tell this to everybody. Sorry, I took up a lot of your time, Shirley.
No, don't worry. You can see I'm nodding frantically, because I completely agree with you. Start everything early, prepare early. Please don't leave it last minute. And you guys would actually find a lot of the recruiters from large companies when they come to the careers fair, and so we have this. You guys might not be familiar with the term. It's called graduate scheme. So it's usually a fast-tracked, kind of management sort of scheme offered by quite a lot of big private companies. So they are basically there to attract a very talented and very high performing students that's yet to graduate yet. The application for those graduate schemes in big companies closes very early, sometimes in April. So if you think about, if you enroll in September, and then many of those opportunities would close in March, April time. So you really is about, as soon as you enroll onto the program, you got to start preparing those, looking into those graduate schemes. So they close very early, well before you even graduate. So that is it's really about be prepared, look out for what sort of jobs you're into, what opportunities are there, and what qualifications do you need, or mark all the deadlines, because there's nothing more upsetting when you see this amazing dream job of yours, but then the application is closed. So yeah,
that is the thing. You need to apply ahead of time. Now, the last question is there any placement/industrial attachment course available for architecture in upcoming September intake?
Unfortunately, we don't offer architecture at York. Sorry, couldn't be much of a help on that one. But maybe look at universities who does offer architecture, and then. But
you do prefer placement option for other majors, not
we do. So we do placement for other courses, and is again, the placement is not handed to you. You still have to have a really good track record of first year academic grades, and then you have to go through the whole selection. Because when you opt placement year, you're not only competing with students from York University, you're also competing other placement students from other universities. So the selection process can be quite competitive. So just make sure, you are what we have the placement team obviously there to help you, to guide you every step of the way. But end of the day, it's still kind of up to you to whether you can pass the assessment, whether you can pass the interview, and then to go to the final stage of the placement. So yeah.
Shirley, thank you so much for helping our students. Hopefully, some of them will come back and make an application. To repeat, if you want to make an application, please send us a message on Facebook. You can email us at mail@macesbd.com. You can call us at 017-55660-803. We have 3 offices, one in Dhanmondi, one in Gulshan, and one in Sylhet. If you go to our website, www.macesbd.com, you'll see all the details there. Thank you so much for listening. I know it's pretty late. Thank you, Shirley, for your time. Hopefully, we'll catch up again during one of our education fairs. For now, goodbye to everybody.
Bye, everybody.